This time I do recommend ducking.
Hello and welcome to the Travel Show. This week we're meeting the predators taking to the skies above the west coast of Ireland. Also coming up, we're in South Africa on the trail of one artist who's helping to change the face of Pretoria's repressed past. Our thirsty explorer is on the hunt for a special masala tea in northern India. And we're climbing the world's highest peaks with our global guide. Near the west coast of Ireland, just to the south of Galway, is an area known as the Burren. A striking expanse of rugged, karst hills that makes up Ireland's smallest national park. It's a landscape that's remained largely unchanged for the past 3,000 years. But there is a key difference. If you look up, you'll see there are far fewer big, beautiful birds of prey in the sky. And while Ireland is perhaps not the first place people think of when it comes to international bird hotspots, it does have a lot to offer. It was once the native habitat of several birds of prey known as raptors, including the golden eagle and the white-tailed sea eagle. But hundreds of years of hunting and habitat loss devastated the raptors' numbers. And around the turn of the 20th century, these birds of prey were completely eradicated from Ireland.
Originally it would have been a lot of the aristocracy in Ireland would have killed them because they believed they were taking their game fowl, their rabbits, and they were persecuted to extinction. So it's only now we're slowly starting to reintroduce them.
Shane O'Neill is part of the Golden Eagle Trust, a conservation body that in 2007 started a project to bring some of these lost birds back to Ireland. The programs have seen mixed results so far, but it seems the white-tailed sea eagles have made a particularly triumphant return to their traditional patch.
The whitetails haven't stayed in Kerry, they've spread throughout the country from north to south, east to west. I
guess they're sort of, you know, they're doing what they're supposed to do.
Yes, exactly. They seem to have taken to it quite well, to be honest.
The white-tailed eagle is the largest bird of prey in the British Isles, with a wingspan up to a massive 8 feet. It's also a firm crowd favourite here at the Alwy Caves, a tourism and education centre located in the midst of the Burren's rocky landscape.
In captivity, hopefully she'll live into her late teens, 20s.
Here, tourists can have a close look at many different species of raptors, both those native to Ireland and those from across the world.
She's working, she's hunting now effectively. She knows she can beat you, she has many times.
Sea cow weighs 5 kilos.
Not surprisingly, Seeker, the white-tailed sea eagle, is the show's biggest hit.
She's gonna fly this time really, really low over your head. This time I do recommend ducking.
She does appear quite fearsome when she's sort of coming at you over the crowd. I mean, could she do you some damage if she really wanted to?
She definitely can do you some damage. She can fly into you. If she comes down with a bit of speed, she can definitely knock you over. If she beats her with her wings, she can probably break your nose. She can do a little bit of damage, but that's usually her own fault.
So who do we have here?
Okay, Krista, this is Juan. He's a Harris hawk. It's a species found in the southern US states, all the way through Central America into Peru, Chile and Argentina. So they're
Hola,
really widespread.
Juan. Oh, he's quite a fierce beak, doesn't he?
Your elbow comes tucked into your hip,
Okay.
just like this, and then your wrist slightly higher. He'll always walk to the highest point because it's safe.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to say you're going to bond, but you're somewhere for him to sit. and as long as you're a good perch, he's going to be quite content. I'm going to pop him on. You ready?
I'm ready, Juan.
So he's going to just
Be
sit
gentle
onto
with
your
me.
fist, just like this. Underneath your
Hello.
thumb.
Oh,
We'll just
please
make
don't peck my eyes out.
it- peck your eyes out.
The centre conducts guided hawk walks, where tourists can explore the surrounding woodlands in the company of a feathered friend.
So what we'll do, we'll just walk on a little bit further, and then we're going to let him off to fly and get him to fly to you.
How do we make sure that he comes back to us and doesn't go flying off into
I mean, he's
the-
trained, which is, so that helps, but there's no guarantee. You know, he could hunt up here. There's, you know, furry things running around and distractions that, I mean, he's opportunistic, right? He's going to take any opportunity he can of food. So if it's us, of course, he'll return, but if he can find his own, he'll do that. So there's no guarantee, really.
In addition to providing a rather thrilling chance to see these birds up close, the walk is one of the activities designed to augment bird conservation efforts.
Our goals really are absolutely to raise awareness. You know, I think it's critical. We also help with monitoring birds of prey here in Ireland and raising awareness about those reintroduction programs. And just the fact that you can have this so close to a member of the public, whether it's a school child or yourselves during your visit here, it inspires, I think, and it raises awareness about what they are.
So do I get to send him off into the
Yep,
sky?
I'm going to pop him onto your fist right now. You can hold him just as you were before, so your elbow down slightly. I'm just going to pop him in.
There we go. Hey, Juan.
He's ready to go now whenever. One.
While it will take considerable time and effort before Ireland's raptors return in strong numbers,
It's so cool.
I never get bored of seeing him do this stuff. Nice and straight. Are you ready?
Nice and
He's watching us, so he's going to return.
Whoa, nice
hopefully,
one.
with conservation and awareness campaigns taking place in regions like this, these skies will one day be full of graceful birds of prey once again. It's not just here in Ireland where conservationists are making strides to keep birds of prey from disappearing forever. Some species globally are starting to make a comeback from near extinction. Here's the travel show's pick of some of them. The national bird of America, the bald eagle, was almost wiped out back in the 1950s when only 400 nesting pairs were recorded across the whole of the country. Things thankfully changed with the introduction of the Bald Eagle Protection Act, which banned trapping and killing the birds. Now there are an estimated 70,000 bald eagles in the whole of North America. The peregrine falcon was removed from the endangered species list back in 1999. Peregrines have suffered illegal killing from gamekeepers and landowners and has been a target for egg collectors. But better legal protection and control of pesticides, which indirectly poisoned birds, have helped the population to recover. The strongholds of the breeding birds in the UK are the uplands of the north and west and rocky seacoasts. The California condor is a New World vulture, the largest North American land bird. They almost became extinct in the wild in 1987, but the species has been reintroduced to northern Arizona and southern Utah. The species is still listed as critically endangered, but thanks to conservation, the numbers are slowly on the rise. Next, we catch up with our thirsty explorer. This week, he visits northern India in search of the best chai, which is a special masala tea that locals just can't do without.
During the British Raj, tea plantations throughout India supplied the leaves needed for UK's classic afternoon ritual. But it wasn't long before Indians made tea their own, adding extra milk, more sugar, and often spices, creating what is now known the world over as chai. Proper chai may start in British-founded plantations, but it takes work to turn the leaves into the drink that's at the center of virtually any social activity and important discussion. For an authentic cup, I took the train to Varanasi, one of the oldest cities on earth and the holiest for Hindus, where virtually every aspect of making chai is done in the traditional way. I am more scared of them than they are of me. That feels like real milk. Ginger. Gritty.
Still to come on the travel show.
We're in South Africa, where art is being used to dress the streets of Pretoria as it becomes fast known as the capital of sculptures. And we're checking out retro modes of transport in our global guide.
The travel show, your essential guide wherever you're heading.
Hello, I'm Michelle Yana-chan, your global guide with top tips on the world's best events in the coming month. The London to Brighton Veteran Car Run happens November 6th, beginning in Hyde Park. This 60-mile journey is about properly old autos built before 1905. Astonishingly, 500 cars take part, revving their engines at sunrise before travelling down to Brighton on the south coast. They'll hope to arrive late morning, but there may be stragglers given the age of these beasts. The event marks a change in the law at the end of the 19th century, increasing the speed limit from 4 miles per hour to 14 miles per hour. It'll be a different pace in Queensland, Australia. For the world's biggest triathlon on October 30th, the NOOSA Triathlon begins with a 1,500-metre swim at Laguna Bay off Noosa Main Beach, followed by a 40-kilometre bike ride along the Noosa to Cooroy Road. And then it's the final gruelling 10-kilometre run through Noosa Sound to the finish line party. It's in fact a 5-day event, the Multi-Sport Festival, which begins on October 26th with a mix of fun runs and charity events. In the USA, the Festival of the Dead plays in Salem, Massachusetts through October. There'll be seances, a dinner with the dead held in total silence, and a witch's Halloween ball. In New York City, the Village Halloween Parade happens in Manhattan, kicking off at 7 p.m. on October 31st. Tens of thousands join the costumed parade through Greenwich Village, starting at 6th Avenue by Canal Street and leading up to 16th Street. And down in Louisiana, the VOODOO Music and Arts Experience takes place in City Park in New Orleans over the Halloween weekend, October 28th through 30th. Music ranges from R&B to electronic dance to rock, and the lineup this year includes Tool, Arcade Fire and The Weeknd. Between the concerts, there'll also be Creole food and carnival rides. The red carpet will be rolled out in the Italian capital. From October 13th to 23rd, it's the Rome Film Fest, with screenings, masterclasses, tributes and retrospectives. Sneak previews include American Pastoral by Ewan McGregor, 7 Minuti by Michelle Placido, Tom Hanks and Meryl Streep in audience, and Oliver Stone discussing US politics. It happens in the Auditorium Parco della Musica, just north of the Centro Storico, as well as other venues across the city. From bright lights to night skies, in Canada, the JASPER Dark Sky Festival lasts through October 23rd, offering stargazing experiences on the shores of Lake Annette. Watch out for the mobile planetarium and rocket launches. Back in Australia, Sydney's Bondi is not only about surf and the boho lifestyle. There's another reason to come here: Sculpture by the Sea, an outdoor art exhibition on the 2-kilometre trail from Bondi to Tamarama Beach, sweeping around the stunning sandstone cliffs. It'll be live from October 20th to November 6th, with over 100 sculptures by artists from Australia and beyond. Finally, back in the UK from November 17th through 20th, the KENDAL Mountain Festival in the Lake District is a celebration of outdoor adventure. There'll be international screenings, filmmakers' talks, literary events, as well as climbers and adventurers on the podium, plus a forum for young filmmakers to share their wildest adventures. That's my global guide this month. Let me know what's happening in the place where you live or where you love. We're on email and across social media. Until next time, happy travelling.
And to end this week, we're in South Africa to meet an artist who's aiming to change the face of Pretoria with his decorative and eye-catching sculptures. There's even room for locals to join in.
I sort of found myself in an interesting situation where I'm a third-generation sculptor. I knew how to mix plaster of Paris by the time I was 3. Some of my early childhood memories are art galleries and art exhibition openings. The idea of studying sculptures was just a logical thing for me to do. A lot of my work ends up being something that was a style of work that was very popular in the 70s, direct metal sculpture, where you literally just work directly in the steel and sort of you're guided by the steel as you work and by the process. It gives the work a lovely sort of a spontaneity and an immediateness. This is my PPC Cool Capital public bench project. And being a public sculpture, it's taken a little bit of a knock in the last 2 years. Its leg has come undone, so I need to just get it fixed up and deliver it back to town. I took my inspiration from Snorstad, or Moustache City, which is sort of a derogatory nickname for Pretoria from years past, where government workers had moustaches, and the more senior you were, the bigger your moustache was. So there was this whole sort of stereotype of the snore city. In 2010, at the Venice Biennale, a friend of ours, or a friend of Pretoria, one should probably say at this stage, Peter Matthews, an architect, saw at the American Pavilion a poster that said that one should claim your spaces, and the American Pavilion was all about that. It was all about small interventions. It was all about the idea of people owning their space. And he decided to put a biennale together in Pretoria, and then ran head straight into the bureaucracy. And then a bunch of people came up with the idea that why do you need the permission? The whole concept was for people to own their own spaces. And that was the birth of the Cool Capital Biennale, the first DIY guerrilla biennale in the world. I remember the original meetings, the first meetings. People would come to the meeting and say, but what can I do? Or what must I do? And every time the answer would just be, you can do whatever you want. You try not to break the law, try to be sort of reasonable within health and safety parameters. There ended up being so many activities and events and film festivals and music showings on the top of buildings and film festivals in the basements of derelict mid-city buildings. Slowly but surely there's a new phenomenon that has stepped in where Pretoria has always had a lot of nationalist sculpture, as all countries that were sort of under some form of a fascist or a nationalist government. And I think what the Cool Capital project also did was with us claiming Pretoria as a sculpture city and to show that you can have public sculpture that is not necessarily ideological, but that is aspirational. Aspirational public sculpture and public sculpture coming back into the fore again, and people are willing to put money into it. And I think that's a very exciting era that Pretoria specifically is moving into. Pretoria is becoming in itself a really beautiful, vibrant, artistic, creative destination for people to stay and to visit and to see and experience. Kind of makes me proud to be in Pretoria and as a sculptor in Pretoria.
That's it for this week's show. Coming up next week,
Henry's in Singapore trying out top-notch food at market stall prices and discovering why its famous hawker centres are once again thriving following a shortage of young chefs.
We're a well-oiled machine here, but I'm feeling the pressure. So one sauce here, like that.
so do join us then if you can. And let us know about your travels and keep up with what we're doing on our social media feeds. Details are on the screen now. But for now, from me, Krista Larwood, and the rest of the Travel Show team here in Ireland, it's goodbye.